You've been putting down 2-3 scores a month. You want to put down contract scores all over the country, working directly for me?
I am self-employed. Guy steal ice. Just diamonds or cash.
Fine. I'll make you a millionaire in 4 months.
I wear $150 slacks. I wear silk shirts. I wear $800 suits. I wear a gold watch. I wear a perfect D, flawless, 3-carat ring. I'm a thief.
Do you think that I have been waiting for you to come along?
You're gonna marry her and have some kids? Yes.
Hey, I'm talking to you. Hey.
I mean, what is going on in your life that is so terrific? I'm just asking you to be with me. Go.
We got a problem.
I want my money.
We're new partners. We're in for 10 points.
I am the last guy you want to mess with.
You get paid what I say. You do what I say.
You don't know from one day to the next whether you're going to be killed, go home, or get busted.
What's wrong with you?
James Caan. Thief.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Welcome to Movie Humpers. I'm Bob Sham.
I'm Angela.
And the weird sounds you hear are probably dogs.
I was trying to shush her, but she is just like grumbling at me, and I don't know why.
Hey, man, don't be so dramatic.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
I listened back to a few of our recent episodes, specifically Hot Shots.
Mm-hmm.
And I listened to us argue about...
I listened to that today. I listened to that
I
one
listened
today.
to us argue about how many times you kept forgetting, and then you yelled at me for the Chandler Keanu story.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that in the guy who played Chandler from Friends? Anyway, so now
Michael Mann? What's Michael Mann done?
but now you've seen a Michael
I
Mann
don't know
movie.
who Michael Mann is.
Michael Mann also did Manhunter and Heat. Those are also on the docket. Okay.
Yes, but I know without a shadow of a doubt that Michael Mann is the director of Thief.
Yeah, you caught on to that one.
Got that one. And guess what? Guess what? I'm a fan.
Hey.
Didn't know who he was. Now I'll never forget.
If you had to say, Bob, if you were like Bob,
Mm.
you can only watch one kind of movie, one type of genre of movie.
What would that be?
I love a noir.
Yeah.
I love a noir.
Yeah.
They call what we're discussing, they call neo-noir, because apparently noir means, Humphrey Bogart, wearing the fedora, those guys, gangsters, Tommy Guns, Jimmy Cagney.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently that's what is noir, and everything after that is called neo-noir. I don't understand why it can't all just be noir. I guess people just like to say neo-noir, and noir is French for black. If you didn't know that. But I love a noir. I fucking love crime. I love the grit. I love movies where no one is really very good. You know?
Mm-hmm.
What's a good modern noir we've seen in the last few years? Like an Uncut Gems?
Ooh,
Something like that. That's a
Uncut Gems
good,
is good.
a good modern noir. A good throwback noir from modern times, like an LA Confidential.
Oh, I loved that one.
I would call like a No Country for Old Men.
Sure.
Like a Western noir, modern noir,
Yeah,
neo noir as they would call it.
Sure.
Shit like that. Just off the top of my dome, I love a noir.
You
And
want to ask me?
yeah, what if you could only watch one subgenre of movie? What would it be? Gun to your head.
I'm not sure if it's more accurate to say thriller or suspense, but I would want like all of the Alfred Hitchcock movies to be in there, and
Okay.
also like other sort of like scary. It doesn't have to be horror, but I need it to be like thriller.
That's a good one because there's a lot that kind of qualifies.
Because truly, if you were like you only can watch one person's movies forever, I think I would say Alfred Hitchcock.
I think
Because there's a lot of them, and they're fucking good, and they're beautiful.
I think it was sometime last year that James Caan passed away. And I knew he had done this movie. And honestly, I saw Heat a long time ago. I don't know what was up. Maybe I was very distracted. I don't remember a lot of these movies. I saw Manhunter a long time ago.
I don't remember
But
them.
Thief, I was like, I want to watch this. I want to watch this. So then I came up with, Hey Man, Don't Be Dramatic. Also Michael Mann May, which sounds better, honestly. Michael Mann May sounds
That's what
better.
I called it.
That movie we initially looked up, The Jericho Mile, was a made-for-TV ABC movie.
I guess we couldn't watch it.
About a guy in prison who qualifies for the Olympics. It's a trailer. It seems interesting.
Yeah.
But Thief is Michael Mann's first in theatrical feature film.
This
is your
incredible.
first fucking feature film.
Incredible.
Like we talked about Boy by Taika Waititi, his first feature film.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty damn good feature film.
It was.
You're popping off with fucking James Caan's Heat,
Dude.
or Thief here, where like this movie.
It was amazing.
This movie is fucking good.
Yes.
And James Caan is like in this shit, and it's so simple too.
Yes, I have never in my life been attracted to James Caan, but I think I was.
I'm a big fan of my favorite character in The Godfather, specifically the first one.
Oh, he is.
Because he's dead before the end of the first one. It's, of course, his portrayal as Sonny.
So good.
In The Godfather.
Yes.
The scene where he takes the paparazzi camera at his sister's wedding, and he
Yep.
throws it on the ground, and he takes like a few $100 and just throws it on the ground. Yeah. And I went to New York with a friend of mine many years ago. And I flew into the Long Island airport, and we're driving down towards Long Beach, and there's that area, highway stop area, and I recognized it. That's where Sonny was murdered in The Godfather. And I'm in the car, and I recognize the spot, and I'm losing my fucking shit. Like, oh my God, that's where they killed Sonny. That's where they killed Sonny. So, like, and rest in peace to a king, James Caan. And it was so funny because Willie Nelson is this movie.
Yeah.
And he is and we're going to talk about his scene here in a minute. Like, I didn't know Willie had this in him.
No.
But Willie is like his old man mentor in this movie.
Mm-hmm. Like a father to him.
Willie Nelson's still alive. James Caan is gone. And he plays the mentor to James Caan in this movie.
Were they like the same age, but Willie Nelson just always has looked like he's 50?
I think Willie was, I don't know what their ages were at the time, but Willie, I'm sure, was a little older. He is just living an exceptionally long life at this point, especially now. Apparently, like, the life expectancy has dropped a little bit.
Oh, really?
I mean, country's got problems.
Sure.
Birth rates are low, but I think that's also people like, I can't afford to have kids, so I'm not going to.
Or people like us who just haven't, and now we're not.
Yeah, but let's not digress. Let's talk about this fantastic movie, Heat. Apparently, James Caan, it was like a little Michael Mann and James Caan kind of came up with their own little production company to put this together.
That's cool.
James Caan plays a thief. He's turned some time. He's like a safe cracker. This is also it's in Chicago, so there's a Belushi in it.
But
this is his first film appearance.
I think this is probably
the best
thing that he ever did.
Yeah, Jim Belushi is in this movie.
He's brilliant in it, and guess what? He's not comedy. There's no comedy.
No.
He's just playing this like straight. And there's some funny moments because he's I mean, you know, like, but it's
not
natural.
really, yeah.
Well, I guess I was only thinking of like, there's
He's
a part
not
where he
clowning.
tackles his girlfriend in the ocean and it's cute. But that's what I mean. Like, there's nothing funny.
Yeah.
He's just a real person. And I was shocked and amazed and I loved it.
And the synthesizer score by Tangerine Dream was very good as well.
Mm.
But apparently James Caan kind of studied with actual thieves. So the scene, we open up him like going into a safe, and the shots and the way that's done, apparently everything he's doing is pretty much like how the approach would have been done at the time by actual safe crackers and shit like that.
That's cool.
And the way Michael Mann kind of zoomed in on certain things where you see like torches going through like a tunnel, and like it made it look super sharp. And also this movie's just like so dark, but so like it's got swag, but it's also like everything feels gritty and dangerous at the same time.
Yeah.
And James Caan, he's got a cover. He runs a bar and a used car lot to like a cover for his thievery. And he's got this lady that he meets up with.
Can I talk about the lady?
Sure.
I love this woman, and you meet her at the beginning and you kind of think they know each other because he is at a diner with this dude where he's like making a deal, and he just walks up to her and he goes, "We having dinner tonight?" And she was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Pick you up at 8." This is their first date. But the way they interact, it's like they know each other.
I think they had at least been seeing each other, like not dating, but have seen each other around for a while.
Maybe she'd seen him in there. Maybe that's a place that they meet. But I didn't get that because I thought at first they were. But then he shows up 2 hours late and she's pissed and she's like, "You're making a fool of me." But then they go sit somewhere. He convinces her, "Please just like let me." Actually, he manhandles her out the fucking bar and puts her in a car. And somebody at one point tries to stop him from dragging her away, and he punches the dude.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, "No, this woman is coming with me." And so, okay, this makes me torn.
That guy
I'm
was
so
like,
torn in a scene like this.
That guy was like, "Hey, what are you doing with that lady, woker
Yeah.
you are?"
Well, here's what I'm
you
going to
are.
say. Insane, but I'm just going to be completely honest. I should be like, he should let her go. You know what? It was kind of hot.
But James Caan's like
it's kind of because
James
he's like,
Caan-
"No, I want you and you're mine." But he didn't hurt her.
You want to get railed by
He
James
just
Caan.
I mean, listen. There's a difference between.
Let's go out in public and reenact this scene.
There is a difference between like the old. Okay, John Wayne has a film where he literally rapes a woman, and as soon as he's done raping her, she's like, "Oh, I mean, are you gonna come see me later?" Like, it's very much like, "Now I'm in love with you because you raped me." That's one thing that's like this like machismo, like, "I'm just gonna like take you and then you're gonna like fall in love with me." But there's this other part where he's just like very confident that he like needs her to listen to him. And it's not like he ever roughed her up or anything. Like, he wasn't rough with her ever. Like, he truly was just like, "I need to physically remove you from where you are so that I can get you somewhere to where I can explain to you that we're going to be together for the rest of our lives, even though we just met." Like, and that's what he does. Like, he convinces her, and she's still mad for like the first part of the conversation. But this is why I know they haven't been dating. They don't know each other.
Right.
At all. And so they're getting to know each other, and they lay it all out. Like, it's the first date.
He's like, "Look at my ring, look at my watch, look at what I do. You know what I do." He just straight up is like, "I'm a fucking thief."
He's a fucking thief. And he asked Willie Nelson ahead of this. He goes to see him and he says, "Hey, I met a girl."
Oh, let's talk about this scene.
Oh, well, okay.
Let's talk about this scene.
Okay.
This is the only scene he's acting in because the other scene is him in a hospital bed, Willie Nelson. Because apparently he trained Frank, right? That's his name, right?
Yeah, Frank. And yeah, so Willie Nelson was his like mentor.
And he's going to see him in prison, and they're like, their faces are close in the screen. And Willie is like, it is so convincing, like a stunning acting performance by Willie Nelson. Because you can tell that he just absolutely adores the character of Frank, James Caan. Like, the way he looks at him is like he's looking at like a proud father looking at his son, or looking like him like he's just madly fucking in love with him. Holy shit. Just that little bit that Willie had in this movie, he fucking carried it was just, really blew my mind how he was so convincingly emotionally connected with this character, and just the way he like looked at him with such admiration and love. Like, come on. We've seen actors who've been doing shit for decades not hit that shit like that. And I know Willie did a little acting here and there, especially throughout the 80s. But, like, holy fuck. He did so much in that little scene. It actually blew my mind. Like, the way you would portray someone who really just fucking cares about somebody. Watch this scene in Thief with Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson, of all people, let him show you how to look like somebody who fucking cares about somebody.
It was beautiful.
It really was.
It's so crazy to think, because you're right, it was one scene, but he was such a huge part of the movie. And the way that then James Caan, Frank, talked about him, it like kept him present, you know? And I know he had that picture of him, but yeah, you're right. He just looked at him like nothing in the world made him prouder than that man. Nothing in the world. It was his most proud thing in his life was the fact that he knew this man. I'm like crying. Like, it was
It was something else.
Beautiful. It was beautiful.
So the outline of this movie is like we open up on Frank, these cool ass fucking scenes of him like cracking a safe, and he steals all these diamonds and he gives them to this guy, and the guy's got to go take him to the people who pay him. He's going to bring back the money. Well, that guy ends up getting thrown the fuck out of a window and he's dead. So Frank doesn't have his money. He goes to where he knows he's bringing those diamonds, and these are mobster dudes, Chicago mobster dudes, and they're like, I don't know, but I tell you what,
we'll make a meet.
You make a meet, and we'll go tell you about this job, this gig, and a big portion of the movie is preparing for this gig. Promises to pay him around $800,000, and in 1981 money, that's like $2-3 million, right?
Well. And from the beginning, this like mob guy is very much like, you're going to work for me. You're going to work with me. You're going to do this. And James Caan is like, 1, maybe 2 jobs.
Yeah.
1, maybe 2. But he wasn't going to do it. He wasn't going to do it. The reason he decided to get in bed with this man was because of the woman, because that night they spent together, he, in that same night, told her everything about himself. He had gotten divorced. He didn't have any kids. He was a thief. And she told him about how she had been with a guy who treated her like shit, and how she like, you know, ended up on the street alone and like did stuff that she was not proud of and had things done to her that were terrible. And he basically was like, I don't care about anything that's ever happened to either one of us. I want to be with you, and I want to be with you right now. I'm asking you to be with me forever. And she says yes. And she would have been crazy if she didn't. Like, truly. And so, but he goes immediately after that, because now he's like, okay, I'm with this woman who I am now going to take care of, but I'm also going to get the fuck out of this business.
Yeah.
And so he's, in his mind, 1 job and done. And listen, this did not feel like overdone, but that is a trope that is like, that is the worst foreshadowing always ever.
Oh, sure,
it's like,
sure.
one more job and I'm done.
You know this isn't going to go
It's
well.
never going to go that way. Sorry, I just wanted to like kind of wrap up the whole the woman. The woman was why he chose to do this, because he wanted to be with her so badly and make a life for her so badly.
And apparently the woman couldn't have kids. They wanted children.
And he's like, we'll adopt them.
So the guy that he's doing the jobs for is like, I can get you a kid.
Yeah.
Like, it's like black market shit.
This was also when I was like, he's never getting out of this.
And he gives him pause, but the guy's like, hey, it's not my fault that the mother's a piece of shit. You know, like,
the mother wouldn't be selling her kid if they weren't buyers.
You can still have,
but also it's a cycle. It's a cycle.
I mean, this guy's master manipulator, right? He's the you know, it's all dirty as fuck. I mean, even for the fact that we're watching everyone who's dirty, even the cops, and cops appear and they're harassing Frank, James Caan.
Yeah.
And this is beautiful because it's not like some goody two shoes, like, oh, we're the police shit. Like, they come off every bit as dirtbaggy as everyone else. And that's how you fucking do a noir. Like, everyone's a piece of fucking shit, except for maybe the lady who's getting smacked around too much, or the little kid who needs to grow up and do anything else other than what he's seeing.
Or your old mom.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Those are the only characters that are like truly good. Everyone else, cops.
And sometimes your mom's
your
bad.
Main character, there's got to be something like dirty about everybody. And there isn't some like there's no propaganda here. They're like a nuisance. They're in the way. And then at one point they arrest him for like, they kick out his tail light and arrest him on some bullshit. And he just starts like calling this one cop like every Italian slur in the book. That's another thing about like, you know, like an accurate, like white mobster ass movie, like Italian mobsters, Irish mobsters. They have to be racist. Because they were fucking racist. Frank isn't racist. He was just trying to get under this cop's skin. But the guy he works for says some racist shit later when he's threatening him. Of course these guys are... Have you ever been around these guys? I mean, I know like some of these periods of time were a long time ago. I remember being a little kid around like some fucking... Like in Chicago around these men in their little basement bar. They're not like nice people. They're saying like awful fucking shit. These Irish men, these Italian men. Like... That's a realistic depiction of how they are.
Sure.
And it's just a part of the whole grime that covers everything. So these cops, like, and even at the end, I remember at the end as things are going down, I'm like, please don't let the police roll up on this and have some kind of scene. And it didn't. And it was perfect.
Yeah.
It's like they came, they were just a pain in the ass, and he figured out how to get around them, and that was it. But finally we get to the job. And you're thinking that something's going to go wrong.
Oh, yeah, the whole time.
That someone's going to drop the dime here. They have to like listen in, tap into a radio, because it's like the alarm goes off, and they cut it off by calling in and giving a password.
Mm-hmm.
And they gotta tap through a radio to get the password, and then once they can cut off the system, then they're just home free. And the whole time you think something's going to happen. Somebody's going to get double crossed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a patient scene that's, again, one of the coolest parts, actually showing how to break into these safes, the system and the style that they use.
Also really loved the little old man that made him the special tool to break into the safe.
Yeah.
Like, I loved that.
He's
little
like
old
that
man.
guy who makes gadgets for James Bond,
or
but
Batman
more
or
realistic.
something. Yeah.
But they get away with it. They do the job. You
They
think
do
it's
the job.
you think it's gonna go south, and then he's like, it's done.
They do the job. They have the baby, or they pick up the baby
Because he's fucking good at what he does.
Oh,
He's fucking good at what he does.
real quick about the kid.
Sure.
There is a scene where they go and actually try to adopt a baby. He and the woman have gotten married, which we don't even see. I actually kind of love that. I love when things jump and just like mention it. And so you know, oh, okay, this is probably at least a month.
Lesser people in their first fucking movie would just have way too much in there.
Yeah, they would have to show everything.
We didn't need it.
You
It's
don't need it.
fine.
So they're married and they go to the adoption agency and they want to adopt a baby. And he basically, on his like employment history or whatever, he had put the prison where he was incarcerated. And she's like, what'd you do there? And I don't know what he said, but he basically was like, I worked in the washroom or whatever. You know, like he was answering her. And then she kept questioning him. She's like, oh, were you like a guard? And he's like, lady, I was in jail.
Right.
Like, I went to jail. I was in jail. And then she basically was like, well, then you can't have a baby. And he was like, why the fuck cannot two good people who will love a child and take care of a child not have a child? And he truly is like, what do you have? We'll take one that has got problems. We'll take one that's older. Like, we'll take one that's in color.
Race.
Like, I don't care what this kid looks like, what problems they have. I want a baby. Or a kid. I want a kid. That scene got to me because we've had those kind of conversations 100 times. Like, there are children who need families and families who want children, but there are these like societal like it's classism, it's money,
sure,
because you have to have the money.
Look,
it's expensive.
We're sympathetic because we love Frank and we love that lady. They're not going to give
no
babies to convicted
I'm
felons.
not saying they should have given him a baby.
Sure.
I'm not saying they should have given him a baby, but I'm saying conversation he was having is real.
We felt what he was feeling.
Yes.
We understand what he was feeling.
It is a problem.
They should have given Frank that fucking baby.
No,
if they knew how good he was at safe cracking, they would have given him that baby.
Listen.
Come on, he's the man.
Ultimately, whatever. They bought the baby.
You see these rings? You see these watch? I'm wearing $800 suits. Okay?
What do you think I do?
What do you think I do?
He's so fucking cool. Okay, so then we're at the part where the job has happened.
Yeah.
And so he goes to the man and he's like, gonna get his money. And the man
hands
him a bag. And he looks at it immediately is like, where the rest of my money?
It's literally like 20 grand and he's supposed to get paid like a
800.
little under $1 million.
Yeah. It's supposed to be like 830 something.
And the guy's like, and Frank's like, where's the rest of the money? And the guy's like, no, we're going to do these jobs. He like names like a few other jobs and you saw this coming and he's like wanting to break all the full payment out. I mean, this is mobster shit, like holding it over him.
And the guy's like, no. Like, we made an agreement. I did the job. You give me my money and I'm out. And the man was like, I bought your house.
I bought you
I bought your car. I bought your kid. Your kid is not your kid. Your kid belongs to me. You've got him on loan. As soon as the man said, I'll get you a baby, that was when it was like nail in the fucking coffin, man. Like, you don't take a baby from a mobster. So that you're going to owe that mobster your fucking life.
So Frank, honestly, I know we're just going through the movie here. It's so good. We just want to talk about it. But if you haven't seen this movie, go watch this movie. It's on like Tubi right now.
Yeah, we don't have to tell the ending if you don't want to.
No, I want to just because I want to get into it.
Yeah.
He tells this guy, like, you basically got like a fucking day to get me my money. And sure enough, this guy's like an evil fucking mobster. So they creep up on him, end up killing his boy, Jim Belushi.
Yeah.
And then they set him by like these vats of acid things, and they dump Jim Belushi's body in these vats. And the dude's just like, no, we own you, and you're gonna work for me now. And of course, it doesn't even go to Frank even trying to do anything else for this guy.
Oh no.
Frank goes in, he torches all his businesses.
Well, first he sends his lady away.
Yeah, he's got a driver.
Yeah, but he does the thing to her where he does the I
white,
don't love you anymore.
He white
Get the
fangs
fuck
her.
away from me.
He white fangs
He white
her.
fangs her. But there was this moment, I don't know if you picked up on this, but it was so, I don't know, this woman was brilliant, and these two together were fucking brilliant. And like he's telling her, he's like, you have to go. I don't, like he's basically white fanging her.
Yeah, I don't love you.
There's a moment where she stops and she just looks at him for a second, and you know that she fucking gets it.
Yeah,
she's like, I understand what you're doing to me.
He hands her like $400,000.
He hands her $400,000, and he calls his driver.
Yeah,
and the driver takes
they
them
go
away
wherever
to start a new situation, and then
he torches all his businesses, torches the house. He's blowing all this shit up, and then he goes to the dude's fucking house, and like some shit goes down. He ends up killing one of his boys. He ends up killing the dude in his bedroom. There's dudes just swarming the house. He does get shot, and he manages to take out like 4 guys, and then he takes off his button up, and it shows he's got some kind of like armor protection, and he takes it off, and then he just walks off into the fucking night. And I love that there's no more detail on that, because in your mind you can be like, oh, he's going to go to her, right? He's got a contact for his driver, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
And he's going to go to her, or maybe he's just going to disappear completely, because maybe there's guys that worked with this guy that might try to hunt him down. But he got his Frank wasn't going to fucking roll over for nobody. Fuck it, you're not going to pay him. He's going to go to your house. He's going to burn everything.
He literally said, burn it down.
He's going to burn everything you think you can hold over his head. And he's going to come to your house, and he's going to
He burned his own businesses too.
You. Yeah.
He burned his house. He burned the car lot that didn't even have anything to do with that man. Yeah.
Dead on.
Ugh.
Dead on.
But I know I just talked about this, but to go back like 1 second, the thing that I love so much about that moment where she looked at him and then she turned around and left is like the understanding that they showed in that moment is like something that I don't feel like you have unless you like really know somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was trying to be like, no, I love you. Like, I'm your wife. I'm not fucking leaving you. But then when he did that, it was like, she was like, oh, this is the only possible outcome that you can see, and I trust you.
It was like almost like she's like, oh, of course, this is kind of where this baby was going to go.
Good.
Yeah. Dude's first feature theatrical film was one of the best modern noir movies you can actually watch. James Caan, he surpasses Sonny in The Godfather.
Oh God, yeah.
This is what a movie. And we're gonna hump this movie.
Yeah.
And we're gonna give this 1 through 5.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Well, I'm gonna go ahead. I'll rate it first if you want.
Okay.
I'll give it the first rating.
Okay.
Is it perfect?
Yeah.
Is it perfect?
I mean,
I think, I'm not sure what the perfection means. Apparently this is a pretty broadly critically acclaimed movie, which is interesting because this movie did garner a lot of respect, but it's not a movie that like lingered throughout our lifetimes. This is not one that was like a must see. This is something that I really didn't even hear that much about until around James Caan passed,
Yeah.
Even talking about MICHAEL Mann movies, it's always like Heat that gets brought up, and not like people aren't talking about this one as much.
right.
But this is high end. This is high end crime drama right here.
Here, my take on it is the less things that you feel like needed to be changed, the better the movie is. And when you can't think of anything that needs to be changed, that is a perfect movie. I cannot think of a single thing I would change about this movie.
No. And even like what it chose not to show, there's so many like tropier things. And it's just like, it was almost smart in what it didn't show.
It was smart in what it didn't show. And MICHAEL Mann pulled things out of people that we didn't know they had, even though we've known who these people are our entire lives.
Yeah.
Like Willie Nelson and Jim Belushi. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
They were both brilliant. Like, if this movie came out now, I feel like Willie Nelson would get a Best Supporting Actor role. Like, a nomination.
When I think before this movie, when I thought of Jim Belushi, I just pictured him on stage like a cornball singing Sweet Home Chicago or something. Like, for some reason, that's the only memory of Jim Belushi that, or like, wasn't he in Curly Sue or some shit? Wasn't he in that?
He was in Curly Sue, and then he was in that TV show forever.
But now I just saw Thief, and that makes me think about him a little bit differently. Like, oh, this guy kind of got a little juice.
Moving forward, this is what I'm going to think of him.
Yeah.
When someone brings him up, I'm going to be like, oh, but have you seen Thief?
So my only question is it a 4.75 or a 5? Because it's not under a 4.75.
No.
And if you're not under a 4.75,
I'm not.
You know what that means, right?
This is an S tier movie.
We have our first S tier fucking movie.
I think that's totally accurate and deserved.
So are you going to give it a 5 or a 4.75?
I thought you were going first.
Oh, fuck yeah, I'll give it a 5.
Yeah, same.
I love this movie.
Perfect.
This is my kind of movie.
This movie, it's my favorite one we've watched since we started this, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
It is the first one that we've given. It's the first 10.
Yeah, this is our first 10
movie.
First
10. Our first S tier and our first 10.
Yeah, baby. Everyone get to watch it now.
Unrelated.
Thief.
But made me just think that I didn't even tell you that I got an S rating on my home decor in Animal Crossing yesterday.
Oh, wow. Excellent.
So I decorate a house as good as this movie. In a fucking video game. I just am not someone who comes across S ratings that often, so this is cute.
A fucking 10. A fucking 10 for Michael Mann's Thief. You know, I'm sure we're going to watch more Michael Mann movies this month. I'm sure they're good. Are they going to be better than Thief?
I mean, they're all going to be compared to Thief.
I mean, even if it gets pretty close, that'll be like really impressive. But Thief is like, this is like in the canon of like crime noir drama. High recommend here, folks. And
watch this movie.
Watch this fucking movie. And you know what? If you betray our boy Frank, we are getting his name right? I
think his name is Frank.
I'm so worried. Like, remember when we kept calling Phil Tippett Paul?
But it was your fault, because you're the one with things written down. I don't even have any notes over here, and if you say it, I'm going to think you're right, because I'm going to think you have it.
It is Frank. We were right.
What's her name?
Oh, let's see.
Jenny.
Yeah, sure. But when people turn their back on Frank, what does he say?
Death to all traitors.
Death to all traitors.